Salam in the peace, you guys. Powder Puka Doodle Squad, better known as AWS One. Dig it? Coming back at you with the prison fire camp stories from Jamestown, level 1 and 2. We left off, I remember I was telling y'all I need to talk about the riot and the torpedoes that were fired from both sides of the Norteños and the Sureños. But there's some other stuff that's going on too, right? Now, another brother comes in out of Dago life, right? We're going to call him FS, right? He's from out of Lincoln too, but from a different sanction. He's from the dip. Now, me and him about the same age. You know what I mean? And he was hella cool. I ended up kicking with him out on the street. The brother I was telling you about the young brother from Lincoln that came in and then went on the fires, I ended up kicking it with him out on the street too. I saw him at I was with one of my relatives, and I saw him at the casino. You know, I used to go kick with my relative at the casino, you know, get them their little drinks and everything, you know. And I just hang out there and just watch, man, and just see what's going on, get my grub on, stuff like that. But anyway, I saw him out there too, right? So I kicked it with him. And FS, I kicked it with him. Now, the young G, right? He used to be going in on FS, right? They was cool, they was partners, but they, you know, he used to clown him a lot. I don't know why. You know what I mean? It was a street thing, you know, because they partners. You know what I mean? And FS slid up in there. So there was what? FS, the youngster, the other little short brother, then it was the big tall brother, and then it was Harun. Now me and him keep getting cool too. You know, we still doing the same thing. We still sharing books and everything. That's when Black and Miles was hitting. Oh, you can make money in there off Black and Miles. If you have some peoples that send some Black and Miles in your package, Black and Miles was making a grip back then. You know, all that was synthetic. It wasn't even real tobacco, right? Once I found out it was synthetic, because I was smoking cigarettes back then, right? Back then, they had some tobacco that came in a can. I forgot the name of it. It had a generic number like F112, right? Oh, that tobacco was so brutal. I know it's giving a gang of people cancer, right? It was brutal as hell. And they used to sell dollar sacks up there. You can get you a dollar sack of tobacco, you know what I'm saying, with some with some rolling papers, you know what I'm saying? And you can make a killing. You can make a killing off of that. Get a can, break the can all the way down. You know what I mean? And you can make a killing that way, right? So FS pull up in there, right? He cool as hell too. Now, me and him like the same age. You know what I mean? And I wanted to say about the cat from Upside, you know, who said to me, you know, where you from? You know, when I first came in there. We gonna call him Big L, right? He was the right-hand man. I ain't gonna say right-hand man. I'm just gonna say he was partners with the young G that was running the joint. They was always together. They walked the yard together, everything, right? And I saw him on the street too. You see what I'm saying? I was in the mob. I just hit my horn at him and just did it moving. You know what I mean? I also want to tell you this. Everybody that got assigned to that dorm, you know, from the police, they didn't last in that dorm. Because if the young partner and the rest of the partners, they didn't want you in there, yeah. They would tell you straight to your face, oh, you might as well go ahead and apply for a transfer right now, man, because you ain't going to be around here long, right? I want to tell y'all about that. See, now stuff is coming back to me. It's been 25 years, right? 26 years, right? And they was like that about me, right? I was stressed out when I got there. I don't know what was going on with my mind, but this is what I remember. And remember I told you, homeboy said, where you from and all that, with the whoop. I came in, and I was so stressed out, I made up my bunk and everything, right? Then I just jumped on my bunk and just threw my jacket over my head, man, and just passed out, right? I was exhausted. I was mentally stressed out. But then I was awake, right? So when I came in the dorm, the young G wasn't there when I came in, just was Big Light, right? So the young G came in, and then I was on my bed, and I heard him talking, right? And they had walked past my bunk, right? And when they came by my bunk, he said, because I just had my jacket over my head, right? My stuff, and just sitting down and put my stuff up and nothing. I just had it on top of my lock. I was stressed. He was like, look at this motherfucker. Then Big Light started laughing, right? He said, oh, you know this motherfucker ain't gonna last right here. We're gonna already make arrangements to get him out of here, right? So I heard him say that because I was awake. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna have beef in this bitch, so let me see what's happening once I play the role and act like I didn't hear nothing, right? And I got up, put my stuff up and everything, and it was time for the pray. I busted my little mat out, my little towels out. I made salat. You know what I mean? Boom. Start going about my program. I act like I didn't even hear that. You know what I mean? I act like I didn't even hear that. You see what I'm saying? Because I know the type of character I am. You know what I mean? And if they really wanted to do something or say something when I awoke, they would have did what they did. I got up, made my prayer. You know what I'm saying? Went. No. Take that back. I got up, I went, took a shower. Came out, made my salah. Jumped on my rack, read my Quran. Then I started talking to the brother below me because I used to mess with his sister. Right? He was basically a G out of a Skyline, which is a set down here in Dago Life, right? I don't know if he banged or not. I'm going to give him gangster status because he was a raw brother that handled his business, and I knew his little brother, and his little brother, was banging. From what I know of, what I believe. Let me rephrase that. Let me just say he from the set. I don't want to put words in his mouth, and I don't want to be saying something that I don't know. You know what I mean? And I know that from the street, from some of the cats I hung out with, and from me messing with his sister. Okay? So, anyway, I ended up lasting in the dorm. But people used to come to that dorm, and when they didn't pass that scrutiny, it was like, yeah, man, you might as well go in and push that button right there, man. Tell them you can't even be up in here. You know? And that's what would happen. And that's why we had peace up in there, because everybody didn't get in there. You know, when they had to replace a bunk if a white boy left or a Norteño left, yeah, nah, it was scrutiny going on. And the two little young Norteños that was in there, the ones that went on torpedo missions, they was cool, right? And then the young Shorty, I think he was running that yard. I mean, not young Shorty, but Shorty. Shorty was about my age, maybe a little bit older, right? He used to do tats. He was tatting the brothers up in the yank. Them two youngsters got sent out on a mission. Man, that yard was crazy, man. You know what I mean? When the police used to think that there was going to be a riot or something, or a jump off between the Norteños and the Sureños, they'd shut the yard down. And then it'd be controlled movement. You know what I mean? The whites come out, whites and blacks come out on the yard because they ain't beefing, and then they'll go whoop. The Sureños will be out on the yard. They get their time on the yard, then whoop. Then the Norteños would get their time out on the yard. Whoop. It was like that. And then they also trained the cadets, right? That are CDC officers. And the cadets come on the premises as well and do training. So I'm gonna give you a cadet story real quick since we're talking. The cadets rolled up in the yank, and they go through our lockers and stuff, and had a lieutenant in there. So they came up to my locker, right? I had Osama bin Laden on the front of my locker, right? This is when I first found out about him. I found out about him in there from paperwork. He was a philanthropist. You see what I'm saying? All that, oh man, I'm telling you, y'all gotta look into that. You know what I mean? From what I learned about the brother, he was a philanthropist at first. He was giving money to the cause for the brothers over there fighting against the Russians. You see what I'm saying? He was helping those brothers. And then he decided to go out and be a Rajil, man. You know what I mean? His father run all the concrete and like Kuwait and all that. They got giant money. I'm gonna say it like that, right? So he was able to get plugged in with the U.S. Y'all should know the story. And they got the firearms and stuff from the U.S. to fight the Russians. Them brothers whooped the Russians' ass for 7 years. They was running around in sandals with 2-3 horses. They got them handheld rockets from the United States, whooped the Russians' ass, sent them home leaking, right? U.S. promised them all kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying, to help his people, help the people. They didn't come through, right? So then he had to shake, because now he's a liability. He ain't a trick for them no more. They was out to kill that man. They didn't assassinate that man like that. That man didn't hold one of his wives in front of him and they shot. Nah, man, that man had health problems. You know what I'm saying? From what I heard through the Islamic community, Man, that man dead. That man died in a cave. And you can do the research. It might be blacked out now. But before that had happened, he had went to a military base hospital. Now, how does that happen? And it was documented. He went to a military base hospital for treatment. Okay, see, I didn't went to, we ain't supposed to be talking about all that. Okay, boom. The cadet wanted to go into my locker. I looked at the lieutenant. I said, excuse me, Lou. I said, I got my holy book in there. I said, I don't mind him searching my holy book, but I don't want nobody touching my book without them washing their hands. Right? That's what I told him. Right? So I said, I can open the book and show him. Is that cool? And he said, okay, you could do that. The lieutenant told me to do that. So I went to my Quran, I opened it all up, let him look in it, everything, left it on top of the locker, I backed up. So homeboy started searching my locker, the cadet, right? So then the lieutenant looked at me and he said, in all actuality, he doesn't have to let you do that. Because once you're in this environment, you're under scrutiny and you're under the law of search and seizure because you locked up, right? Basically, that's what he was telling me. So basically, he was letting me know that I didn't have a right there, right? But I'm like this. I'm thinking on religious grounds, right? This is religious, partner. This ain't no, you know what I'm saying? No, what y'all make up, one of y'all laws, right? I don't want you touching my book now unless you wash your hands. That book is holy to me. It ain't like a Bible. Now tell the truth. Do you see Qurans laying around everywhere like you see Bibles? No. You see the Quran in a motel? No. You know what I'm saying? So he told me that, right? And I said, oh, it's like that, Lou? That's the law? He said, yeah, that's the law. I said, well, okay, I thank you for letting me do that. That's what I told him. I said, okay, I thank you for letting me do that. And he was like, okay. I said, where you out of, man? He said, I come out of San Quentin. I done met 2 lieutenants from San Quentin, and both of them been cool. He was cool, white boy. And then this other one I'm going to tell you about later on. Okay, I done went on one, and it killed all the time that I was supposed to be telling y'all stuff. Okay, all right, let's talk about the riot that went down. In our dorm, our politics was like this here. What we do in our dorm, we doing our dorm with that bullshit that happened out on the yard. It happened on the yard. We gonna leave everything on the yard. And what we doing here, we gonna keep it in here. That was our motto. Everybody came to agreement with that because we used to have meetings and stuff, right? That was our agreement right there. Horn and stuff, everything went off. Whoa, 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 whoa. Riot popped off. These white boys took off on these brothers, unsanctioned, right? Brothers had low numbers, 7 of them. That number just sticks in my head. And then brothers got hurt. We heard they got hurt bad because they was outnumbered. And we was all looking out the window, seeing them bringing them out. You know what I'm saying? Raggedy and toe up, right? We were hot. We were immediately hot. So now we waiting for the kites to come around to tell us what was going on. You see what I'm saying? So the black rep came by and told us like, hey man, the motherfucking white boys took off on us up in there. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to calm it down, but we know, it's bad right now. You know what I mean? It's bad. So we was like, okay. So then boom, it's meeting time for us up in the joint, right? So now we finding out that brothers got hurt. We hot. We ready to tear that. We ready to burn this motherfucker down, right? We ready to burn it down. So the young G make a statement, let the white boys know, any of you motherfuckers got a problem, it can go down right now. They was like, we ain't got no problem with that. The one that was running it, he said, hey, this is unsanctioned. I don't know nothing about this. He said, give me a moment. Let me find out what's happening. White rep came, he went and talked to the white rep. You know what I'm saying? White rep let him know what was going on. He was like this, hey man, the people that I know, they ain't got nothing to do with this. So we after their asses too. You know what I mean? They motherfuckers, he said it like this, them motherfuckers ain't gonna stay on this yard. That's what he said. You know what I'm saying? And the people at the facility, they already knew they could not stay on this yard because it was going to be real bad. It was going to be real bad. You see what I'm saying? So kites flew out for wherever they touched down at, they going to get touched. Bottom line. And if they were stupid enough to put them over on the 2 yard, yeah, you're going to get touched. We were hot. We wanted to do damage in that piece, right? But wallahu alam, we just did our regular program because what we said, our word was true. That the prison politics on the yard stayed out there. Everybody in here, go up under this because we're trying to go home. You know what I'm saying? Young G trying to go home. Everybody trying to go home. Everybody just trying to do their time, go to camp, go to where they're going. And for the people that didn't fight fires, they just had to go to classification. And I guess when they went to classification, they told them, okay, we're going to send you to the whoop-de-whoop camp. But I don't think they did that because I don't know what camp I was going to until they came and rolled me up. So they probably just told them, okay, we're going to send you to camp. And then they just sat around and wait to go to camp. And then, whoop, they ended up going to camp. You know what I'm saying? So, I think I'm going to cut it short now around this 15-minute limit. And then, I might as well go on and give you the No. I'm going to come back and give you the Norteño torpedoes, right? I want to give you stuff as it's coming back to me because it's been so long, right? And as far as our Ummah was concerned, we had brothers that didn't even pray with us. That was on the yard. We would go out on the yard, make salat, whoop, whoop, be in our hulaka, sitting in the little grass. We got our blankets out. We got the books. They wouldn't even be around us, yo. Them was the ones that lacked knowledge and was straight hating, period. So if you want to call that torpedoism, hey, you can call it that. You know what I mean? But hey, we just left. We just said, okay, what could we do? We can't force you to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to pray with us. You know what I mean? But when your ass is leaking, your ass is leaking. You ain't got the Rajils to count on. Because inshallah, we rolling with Allah. We rolling under the protection of Allah. You see what I'm saying? So, hey, you want to be out there naked, you be out there naked. But sometimes it's just like that. Sometimes Allah write it for you to be naked. You see what I'm saying? I was still going through the physical training because at the end you got to go through, you got to go through all the exercises, the pull-ups, the push-ups, the sit-ups, the burpees, and the stair climbers, and the running, and all that. They save the burpees and the stair climbers at the end for last, right? And like I told you, the brothers who went before me who was coming back telling me about the test, then you start studying for the test, right? So you had the fire orders. You start memorizing the fire orders because you have to memorize those, write them all out word for word. If anything's missing, you miss one word, one letter, whoop, you fail, you got to do it all again. So we in there studying for the fire orders and some of the questions that the brothers had from the little material that he could bring back, right? Which was cool because you got all these brothers, white people, white boys, we all studying together. See if we know the fire orders and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Basically, I think I'm going to shut it down right there. I'm going to come back with the next one and tell y'all about the torpedoes that was being fired from the Soreños and the Norteños, which was like constantly. Then I'm going to tell you about my scholastic training. And then we're going to move on to the next level, man, to actually going on fires and being out of camp and stuff like that. Big ups to all my new subscribers. Big ups to those of you who check me out on the regular. Big ups to those of you who check me out every now and again. Big ups to those of you on the fence. Y'all don't know what to do. Go ahead and do it. Once again, I'd like to thank you guys who be on the regular. And you guys who subscribe, thank you. Because that number has went up and it's been staying the same. I hope, please don't let it go down, y'all. Inshallah, y'all take it up. Inshallah, I'm making good enough material for you guys. You know what I mean? I hate to have that doubt, right? Because I'm putting it out there, so I got to have faith in it. You see what I'm saying? I'm putting it out there because that's just what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying? So, alhamdulillah, I mean, you got your partner, Poopy Duty Squad, better known as AWS1. Digga, y'all know what to do, boy. Do Islam, peace, remain, bless you and your families. Inshallah, please come back and watch the next episode, which would be episode number 6, I believe. And then, okay, I want to tell y'all this too. I'm going to be doing a new series too. It's going to be called The Characters, who I encountered, right? All these people that I got funny stories with. It's stories with some of them ain't funny. You see what I'm saying? So you guys stay tuned for that. Got your partner once again. Islam and peace, remain blessed. You and your families.